As you know, self-service. Seriously, Mom, you have to operate the garage door right now. All right, let me know when it's off screen. I really don't want to look at that thing. Is it off screen yet?
It's not. It's off screen.
You!
Oh!
It's not April 1st! There's a 0 in front of the 1!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
My name is Alpha DeWolf.
And Tabbycat 406 will probably be joining us later, could possibly be joining us later this evening. But for now, let's get started for our first topic, which is that let me open this up just to show you, but no inbox, or come on, go to my wait a minute, this might have gone to my Gmail, which I don't have on my Mac. Yes, it did. Okay, so let me close the mail out. Okay, so I don't mind showing this email address because this is my one for my YouTube channel, but this email right here reads, Teddy Tabby Parrots and Alpha Day Wolf. Your insightful tech discussions deserve a bigger audience, but the views are low. Hi, Teddy Tabby Parrots and Alpha Day Wolf. I've been following the iTunes Fanboy Podcast, and I love the way you break down the latest tech and Apple news. Your insights are truly valuable. It's great to hear diverse opinions on the latest technology and EVs. However, I noticed your YouTube channel could be getting more views. I'd love to set a meeting to discuss strategies to help boost your visibility and get more listeners engaged with your content. Looking forward to chatting with you. Best, Saad. Or Saad. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Saeed Saad.
That is an interesting email.
That's probably spam if I had to guess, but
I'm not entirely sure, though. I'm not entirely sure.
It's now, I mean, it is a little bit, I mean, it might be legit, but at the same time, it's probably just one of those social media marketing firms that just, I mean, they're not technically spam, but they just don't really work all that well.
That's the thing. That's what I think it is. I think it's one of those firms. I mean, I've gotten so many Twitter DMs with very similar messages. A lot of people reaching out to me asking, hey, content's awesome, but why aren't you getting the views? And then I've talked about in my comment section that some people comment, this is amazing. Why does it get no views? I don't know. I don't. It's all up to YouTube. And I don't know. If any of you guys are watching this channel and wonder why I haven't agreed to any of these people to help boost my views, or why I haven't put any thought into trying anything else, it's because, for me at least, best way I can put it is I want you, the viewer, to make the decision. Okay, I don't want to effectively pay for views. I don't want to chase clout. The way I go about my content strategy is it has to be something I actually want to talk about. It has to be something I think is worth talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not for the sake of chasing clout, even though a lot of people will think when I've made videos calling out, like, let's say calling out Out of Spec, for example. A lot of people criticize me, oh, you're small, you're chasing clout, you're going after Kyle to try to gain views. That was not the case at all. The reason why I made that video was because I had a legit question that I couldn't find any other way to reach out and ask him other than that. And so, and the truth is, it worked. And once I got my answer, I didn't press it any further. I just had a question. I got the answer to my question. I'm not pushing it any further. And then I
I
did
mean, that-
something similar again where I brought up Mark Rober's video, how Mark Rober had crashed the Tesla into a styrofoam wall. It was the whole autopilot thing going on about. You remember that story?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Once again, I had wasn't as many as the Kyle video, but the Mark Rober video, I had at least one comment claiming that, oh, I'm chasing clout again. And again, that you couldn't be further from the truth. I made that video because I thought it was worth talking about.
That's perfectly valid because my dad has asked me why I don't use one of those social media boosting algorithms just because on many occasions just because I don't care. I'm not trying to chase clout. Like I want to actually make content that I actually want to make.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Not because
beholden
it's a
to
trend.
viewers. I don't want to be well, it ultimately, especially on my channel, I decide the content. And in fact, there have been some topics I came up with for our episodes as of recent. There's especially one in today's episode that I jotted down. But again, Teddy has full right to remove it if he pleases, because technically this is his platform that he graciously allows me to ramble on.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, yeah, the reason why I at least never went with any of those algorithm boosting firms is because I don't believe in effectively paying for views or chasing views. When I make a video, it's because I've got something I want to say. If you find it fascinating, which, well, I can't say many do, but there's a small portion of YouTube that does find the topics I talk about fascinating and is why they continue to watch me. And am I big? No. But I can at least take pride in the fact that I didn't need to chase clout. I didn't need to do any of that stuff to get where I'm at today. And somehow, especially on the Gadgets channel, which makes absolutely no sense to me, I'm over 600 subscribers on that channel. And it's still growing. And again, nothing is, for me at least, nothing exciting is going on in that sector anymore. But somehow that channel's still growing. And I don't get it. But I can at least take pride in the fact that it's my work, it's my effort that went into attracting this many people towards my channel. I'm not trying to cheat the system. It's just, I have to say what I have to say, and people find it fascinating.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you're thinking about, for me at least, if you're thinking about reaching out, saying, hey, I got this idea on how to beat the algorithm, and I still have my issues with the YouTube algorithm, but I don't think that's what any of these third parties can do to fix. I think it's YouTube's themselves that needs to fix their algorithms, because
Yes.
right now YouTube's algorithm really hates me. So,
And furthermore, I think the biggest problem really is just that people don't watch is just the lack of subscriptions, is just the lack of people using the subscriptions feed.
That is a big part of it. Like, well, we discussed that when Alec posted his video on what do you call algorithmic complacency.
Yep, and we talked about that in our collaboration video we did together on if iOS 19 comes out. With
Dude,
its
that
AI
was
doctor
so good.
service.
That if you haven't
that
seen
was like
this video, that you gotta watch it.
Yeah, or technically our video, but
It's
also the shortest video that Alpha's ever been in, technically, because it's like 4 minutes long.
I did a 4-minute, 4-second unboxing of Mac accessories.
Well, okay, it's one of them.
Yeah, I don't make many short videos, but
yeah, he's not like, well, I didn't used to really make many short videos, but now ever since I started doing a lot more scripting in my videos, and I managed to. And since I had my podcast, I had another platform where I could ramble more on. As a result, I stopped rambling my YouTube videos. So now most of my YouTube videos are relative. And they're not always short, but it's very rare that my videos go longer than 5 minutes now.
Yeah. I'm surprised. The one thing that I was a bit shocked at the end, though, was that I don't know. I thought you could have put in a sector with all of the bloopers that I had.
I mean, I could have, but the main reason why I don't do that is just because, I mean, it was just kind of rambling, and also it's just a bigger, at the end of the day, it's just a bigger file size. And
True. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll upload it to the vlog channel to showcase all of the deleted scenes.
Yeah. That
It
would
was
actually be
fun.
kind of funny, but...
It was pretty funny.
Alright, well, shall we now
Apparently,
move
I
on?
suck at reading scripts. I need to get a
Well-
teleprompter.
I mean, to be fair, I suck at reading scripts too, for I have to hold my iPad, like, I'm literally scrolling the script manually scrolling the script on my iPad as I read.
I found if you use the presenter mode on Pages on the iPad, you can tap it and it'll automatically scroll.
Yeah, I know you can automatically scroll, but I just prefer manually scrolling. Again, that's probably just because it's gotten to be such a big habit, but... Shall I move on to our next topic now?
Yeah, I'd say we've gone on enough about this, but yeah, don't reach out to us if you want us to boost. If you want to boost our views and such, that's what the buttons below the YouTube video are for. Use them.
Yeah.
That's why I say at the end of
Alright.
all my videos, interact with the stuff below. That's what it's there for.
Alright.
All right, I'm done. Move
Alright.
on. Next topic before I continue rambling.
Okay, so... our next topic is actually, we can't talk about this unless Tavi gets here, but so we'll move on to the next topic after that, which is that I now pay for 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage. Yes, I finally did it. I finally began paying for iCloud storage.
Did you know that in your script, that at that moment you had instantly ran out of iCloud storage, and I was going to edit my rambling portion into the script so I had something to read off of, except I ended up having to create a whole separate document with it because, you ran out of storage and I couldn't add anything to it.
Yeah, basically the biggest reason why I had to start paying for iCloud storage is because I text so frequently. As a result, I have so many texts in my iCloud storage that take up like 5.5 gigabytes now. And even though I don't really use iCloud for much else except for notes, some other collaboration files, it's just like, I mean, I could have technically deleted messages from the cloud, but then I wouldn't be able to have texts that properly sync back and forth between my devices, which would be a nightmare. So I just decided to go, and given how often I text, I just decided it was worth it just to finally bite the bullet and pay $1 every month for iCloud storage.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's only $1.
Yeah.
But
Plus, I get to try out iCloud Private Relay, even though I'm not sure.
oh yeah,
Even though
right.
it's loaded to VPN, so it's not really anything special. But I can also set up my own custom email domain, which that would actually be kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Don't you get the ability for hide my email and such as well?
Oh my gosh, I get so many. Let me check what all I have the capabilities for on my Mac, because yeah, I think I have like so many capabilities now for
I use hide my email a lot.
hide my email. Oh my gosh, yes, this is...
All for $1 a month.
Okay, this is rather incredible.
Yeah, honestly, the $1 a month plan for iCloud, it's really an awesome value. It's hard to argue that value, but at the same time, I know this is old. This is an old complaint that the internet has had, but come on, Apple. Why are we still on 5 gigs as the free tier?
It's been the same since 2011, and furthermore, Google Drive has offered 15 gigabytes of space for I don't even know how long.
Yeah. I mean, I get by with 15 gigs just fine on Google Drive. Albeit that's because I use iCloud more, but...
I get by with 15 gigabytes too, and I mean, I could probably get by with 15 if Apple upped it to 15 gigabytes, then I probably wouldn't have to pay the $1.
Yeah. But... 5 gigs really is not enough anymore. The size of our files has increased enough to the point where, yeah, you're really constrained with 5 gigs. It's just not enough.
Yep.
And Apple still refuses to do it, and we probably know why.
So because it's so cheap to offer 5 gigabytes to everyone.
Not only that, it's because it's why provide extra free storage when you can charge $1 for more storage? From a business standpoint, yeah, it makes sense, but it sucks for the consumer.
Yeah, it really does. But do you have anything more to say about this, or shall we move on to our next topic?
I think the next topic is up.
All right, so I had to print out some documents recently, and with my mom's HP laser printer, and it is very finicky, unsurprisingly.
It's an HP, of course it is.
So my mom found this on Amazon Lightning deal normally it's like $113, but I got it at a discount for like $70. But this is a portable thermal printer, which you have to get special paper for it, but you just put it in, use the special labelized app, and it'll go ahead and print everything out for you. It obviously can't do color, but most of what I print doesn't even need to be in color.
Yeah, I think after our HP printer experience, for one, never buying an HP printer again. Again, like you mentioned, they're finicky. They're a bit difficult at times, but then the other primary issue is the ink. Their stupid ink cartridge subscription is horrible. It's a terrible value. You burn the cartridges up instantly.
Probably because I wouldn't be shocked if they still have the printer still drain the ink on purpose.
Yeah. It's just a whole scam. It's not worth owning an HP printer. So, yeah, after that, my parents started buying Brother printers. And not only are they buying Brother printers, they're also getting laser ones. So they're using toner cartridges instead of ink cartridges, which toner cartridges last a lot longer. And while they are technically more expensive to replace, again, the longevity makes it worth it.
And also, I mean, you don't have to have HP printers.
That too.
HP's infamous inkjet printers, which, I mean, we all know how great they are.
Do HP printers even support AirPrint?
Yes.
Okay.
They technically do, but they're very correct. They technically do, but AirPrint with HP printers is just as finicky as you would expect.
Because, yeah, I have yet to find an HP printer that actually has that working.
I mean, I've barely gotten it to work at times, but...
Yeah, the Brother ones, they do just fine.
And
no issues.
I can confidently say... Yeah, my school uses Brother printers, I think, and I can confidently say my Polono portable printer, even though it's a cheap Chinese print, even though I think it's just a Chinese brand, I can confidently say that's a great actually look up whether Polano is Chinese, but my Polano printer is great. And furthermore, Polano also makes label makers.
Oh dear, I know where this is going.
So you know, I'm not saying anything.
I will say though, at the moment, I don't. When's the last time we actually used the label maker? Well, I have to think.
Oh, actually,
real hard on
Polano's
this,
an American company. Actually, Polano's an American company.
Even better.
That explains why it's good.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, I can't believe that the Windows 7 tower at work is now just a glorified label maker.
Yeah.
And it's still hogging space on my desk. At some point, I'm just going to move the computer somewhere else so I can have my full desk back.
You know, you could... Or you could just move it and buy a new label maker, but... Because Polano makes relatively affordable label makers.
Well, at the moment, we don't need one.
That too, but... Shall I move on to our next topic?
Yup. What is it?
I just had to mention the label maker, but...
Yeah, of course.
So, scammers... Because it's an inside joke. Getting back on topic, scammers are now impersonating employees of businesses to redirect their paychecks of hardworking employees to scammers' bank accounts. So in other words, let's say I own a business. Okay, this is just an example. Let's say I'm an electrician and Alpha is one of my apprentices. So basically how a scam works is that a scammer will impersonate, Alpha in this case, and say, hey, can you please redirect my paychecks to this bank account? And so therefore the employer, like myself, would begin dumping the money into the scammer's bank account without realizing it. And they often scammers often use banks that only require you to apply for U.S. Social Security, that only need U.S. Social Security numbers in order to apply for them. So, which of course can easily be stolen. So as a result, we have this now.
I mean, I'm not sure how effective that is because, I mean, it might be more effective if the company uses like physical paychecks. If they forgot to send it out, then.
No, I mean like a lot of companies now will automatically deposit money into people's bank accounts.
They can't automatically do it. Somebody has to process it. You can't just have a computer automatically do it because you need someone to actually properly calculate hours and then taxes.
What I mean is that the employer calculates all that and then deposits the remaining money into people's bank accounts. Like they have people at the company to do that.
But why the heck would you not just use your own internal system?
Or they are using their own internal system, but they have it automatically deposit. But a lot of times, like in many companies these days, like let's say I work for Alpha's company, just as an example. Once my paycheck from Alpha's company is complete and finalized, it will automatically deposit into my bank account. That's how my
paychecks come in too. It's just
exactly.
The thing is that information is already within a company's database. How do they get fraudulent information in there to press pay? That makes no sense.
Basically,
you literally have to hack the computer for that to work.
No, you're not. Alpha, you're not understanding me. So So basically, what the boss will get an email. Whoever's responsible for paying payroll will get an email. Will get emails from employees that are being impersonated, asking to pay. That ask to pay. That just simply ask to pay into the scammer's bank account. That's all it works. It's just that it's just that lots of times for scammers to register for bank accounts that look legitimate, and in the U.S. They from other scams they use social security numbers.
If that's actually working, then whoever is in charge of accounting needs to be fired instantly. Because what doesn't make sense to me is obviously a business will have a system for this automatic payment thing, which means bank account information is stored within their internal system.
Yeah.
So
the idea is
what I don't get is how do you get the fraudulent bank account into that system? Because I would think if the paycheck didn't go through, all right, I'll go back through the system and manually send it using whatever bank account is already in our internal system. How do you get that fraudulent number into the system? Because a normal person wouldn't just, here's the number in the email, I'll just do that. You'd have to be really stupid to do that. That's what I don't get.
So basically how they work is that basically the scammers are asking the employers to update the bank account information to the scammers. That's how it works.
That would probably do it then. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just didn't explain it properly, but yep, that's what they're doing.
That makes sense. And my goodness, let's just say I think that our business got hacked recently because we've had some scary accurate scams come into my we had some scary accurate scams coming into our accountant's inbox with customer names, legit customer names, stating that apparently we owed them money somehow, which made absolutely no sense because these were our customers, but I don't know, just we're dealing with a hack right now, and we got we're calling people left and right asking if anybody's been compromised and such. But yeah, it first started off with a customer of ours out in California. His name came up in one of those scam emails, and then funny enough, our next door neighbor actually has a business, and his name came up. So, yeah, these scammers, they're getting good.
Yeah, I just have to be aware of them. But that's the main reason why I want to talk about it, just to give awareness. But I mean, the only thing I guess I can say is obviously if you're an employer or if you're responsible for payroll, just make sure to check with the employees in person to see if they change their bank account information. And that's obvious. That should be a simple fix for most businesses. But if it's a really large business, then just manually email the employers like real email addresses. And as a lot of times these scam emails come from fake email addresses.
And I'd say, especially if your automatic payment system goes down, because we've had that happen at our company once. If the automatic payment system goes down or whatever, then just manually resort to physical paychecks.
Yeah, or that's kind of not what I was talking about. But basically, yeah, just if the bank account information, manually ask the employees if they change their bank account information, if that you ever get one of those emails, and if not, and if you're an employee and don't have any say in your own pay, then I guess, like, if you don't get your paycheck, when you're supposed to immediately talk to whoever's in charge of payroll.
Yep.
Because whatever most people's paychecks are is definitely worth enough to be a felony
Oh, yeah.
in most states. Alright, but do you have anything more to say about this, or shall we move on to our next topic?
Time to move on.
Alright, so Amazon is setting off their first 27 satellites into space for their Starlink competitor.
I think it's cool that we're having more satellite internet options, especially when you're in a situation like myself when it comes to ISPs.
Yeah, for my mom, I'm not going to get too into this because this is obviously very regional, but my mom is currently debating switching internet providers away from Comcast.
Doesn't Comcast suck?
So it's not as bad as most people say it is. I mean, I get decent internet bandwidth here, but it's just that we have a really good offer on the table now. So
yeah, as for us, we've tried everything up here except for Starlink, because Starlink is just so freaking expensive. That's the one downside to it.
And I mean, the more competition, the lower the prices get. So
yeah. But yeah, I mean, you drive a mile down our house, or not down our house, down the road. Just drive a mile down the road. I have no clue how these homes are getting internet, because the way we have it right now is basically it's cell towers. We're just using cell towers. And as you know,
that
cell
is
service.
awful internet.
Seriously, Mom, you have to operate the garage door right now. Ugh. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, cell service isn't already that great out here anyways. It's literally doing a video call like this. This is really stressing out our cellular service. It's just enough to provide an okay call, but anything more than this, it hurts. This is a big reason why I don't live stream. It's because I just don't have the bandwidth. If I actually start live streaming, everybody on the whole street loses internet connectivity. So
I mean, that makes
yeah, it just don't work. And our only solution now is Starlink, effectively. But again, that's expensive. And in today's economy and my family's current situation, do you really think we can afford it?
No,
we can't. So that's the one thing I'm hoping that Amazon service is going to do. It's going to push them to be a little more price competitive. I mean, I was initially okay with the pricing as they had launched, because I mean, hey, to set it up, you literally need to send rockets into space. There's no way that's cheap, and they're still doing it. So yeah, there's no way that's a cheap process. So yeah, the launch price being expensive initially, yeah, I thought that was totally reasonable, but I don't know. At this point, there's a lot of satellites up there. There's hardly any major satellite issues that I can think of, and I don't know. The launch is a success, but I'm surprised. I'm kind of disappointed that SpaceX isn't doing effectively what Tesla did, where Tesla, they start out expensive and then they work their way down in price as they come closer and closer to profitability. I don't actually know if Starlink is profitable just yet, because again, launching these rockets, there's no way that's anywhere close to cheap. Even though I'd argue that SpaceX right now is the most cost-effective way to launch these satellites into space because they have their reusable rocket technology.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. Start off expensive, work your way, work your pricing down as you get closer to profitability. And, well, considering that, again, especially up here, there's a lot of people who do have money up here that do have Starlink. And they are never going back to whatever they previously had. And honestly, considering our options up here, I don't blame them.
Exactly. I mean, the internet in my area is okay. But I mean, one time when I was out on a trip, ironically, when I was out on a trip and I was a lot further away from a big city at one point. This was a few months ago. Ironically, the cell service there was excellent, but the internet connection, like I remember trying to watch YouTube videos, like I watched Alpha's Raycon review, and and it was so, and it could barely keep up.
That is funny, actually.
And I watched the first part of Alpha and Talon's review of Talon's 2000 Ford Ranger.
Oh yeah, that. Did I mention that he's selling his current truck, by the way?
Oh, what's it gonna get now?
So our latest plan. Yes, I'm getting involved in this too. We're gonna fly down to Texas, and he's gonna pick up a Ford Fusion Energy.
When are you gonna go to Texas?
Sometime next month.
Oh, you're flying. Wait a second. You're flying to Texas?
Well, the reason why we have to is because the way my vacation time works.
Oh yeah.
I already have a trip planned out with my grandparents and my two male cousins for 1 week, and then we have our DC trip for another week, and that's it. That's all my vacation days. So if we do this, it has to be done on a weekend, and it takes a while to drive, about 1,500 miles. Remember, I live in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It takes a while to get up here.
Yeah, and I'm guessing do you mind saying where your other trip will be, or?
I don't really know. I don't really know, and it's because my grandma's being a big pain about it. No offense, Grandma. I know you're not watching, but still, it's just I legit don't know at this point.
Well, that's.
But yeah, that's why we have to. That's why I have to fly out. Despite that, you know how much I love flying.
Yeah, I debated going to Texas this summer, but I'm not sure if I'll do it or not.
So, yeah, he's selling the truck and going to buy a Ford Fusion plug-in hybrid.
What year is that?
I don't know. He still has to buy it.
All right.
So, but what were we talking about? Starlink.
Yeah.
Or in your bad internet service or things, but
that was on my trip, but yeah. Do you have anything more to say about Starlink or Amazon's new satellite internet, or shall we move on to our next topic?
I just have a question. Do we know anything about pricing for it? What they're aiming for in terms of a price?
Amazon satellite internet price. Okay, so this is from Yahoo Finance. They want to make it cheap. They want to make it cheaper, like less than $400 each for satellite server, but they're just talking about the satellite, so I don't know necessarily how much their service costs.
Yeah, that's no help.
All right, well, Sean, are you ready to talk about this next topic? Which should be no surprise.
All right, what is
so? Honey Chrome lost four. Honey on Chrome has lost 4 million users following its scandal.
How many did they have total? Before the whole thing?
Let me look up Honey total.
I mean, the second I found out about this whole thing, I immediately uninstalled it from Safari.
I think its peak was like at 18 million.
So only 4 million users gone. So now they're down to 14 million?
Yeah, around that, but yep.
That's still an unfortunate high number of users they still have.
But still, I mean, you have to remember that not everybody watches Mega Lag. And
but it was all over the news.
That too, but I mean, not that many people watch the news these days, so
I don't even want to get started on the news.
Yeah, let's shall we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so the Nintendo Switch 2 has now been released, and it has a 120 Hz 7.9-inch display, upgraded graphics. It now supports 4K 60 FPS video when connected to TV. The Joy-Cons can now be used as mice. It supports calling, apparently. Camera support for video calling. It has two USB-C ports. It's $449. And it's not launching in the United States until June 5th to avoid the tariffs. Now, other than the tariffs, which we won't get into for obvious reasons because we've already gone into them.
Yep.
Because the tariffs are too controversial. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say about any other things about the Switch 2?
So, I should preface that my sister has expressed interest in getting a Switch, and she's the gamer of the family. I'm not.
Yeah.
The only way I'd ever get back into it is if Nintendo ever brings back the Wii.
Yeah.
And the Switch still isn't the Wii. So.
Yeah.
Sorry. But, yeah, she's the gamer of the family. I think I should probably ask her.
Yeah.
I literally just heard her run upstairs. I don't know if I want to grab her.
No, don't.
Nah, fair enough. But
yeah, she probably doesn't want to be live on the TIFP.
She doesn't care.
Alright, well, getting back on.
But,
alright, well.
Still, my point is, she has expressed interest in the original Switch after she tried my cousin's Switch. Was it a year ago or so? I don't remember the timeline, but some time ago. I think she'd be particularly interested in this, especially since, latest gadget and such. The one thing I'm a bit confused on is the video calling thing. Why does it need it?
For like multiplayer gaming, like if you want to call others while gaming, similar like Discord.
Oh, okay. It's not like it's not like cellular, is it?
No,
Okay.
not that. Oh,
yeah, that's what I
by
thought.
the way, I think multiplayer online gaming in the cellular and the calling that requires a subscription, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's the other big thing I'm hearing. There's a lot of extras you kind of have to pay for.
Yeah.
Now, I guess.
And like the games, and a lot of the games aren't even physical games. Cost like $90 a piece, and a lot of them aren't even like the physical copies now. And like digital games cost $80 a piece, which I mean, I'm sorry. For video games, that is outrageous. I mean, I'm not a gamer, but for the type of games that Nintendo does, especially for targeting children, like, I'm sorry, no. That's absolutely outrageous. Like, kids can't easily earn... Where do you see little, like, 6, 7, 8-year-olds coming up with $80 or $90?
Oh, the parents will spoil them. They'll just buy them for Christmas. And then you gotta wonder where's the parents gonna get that money.
Santa Claus has that kind of money, but however, the problem with that is that like still like kids will only be able to get like one maybe 2 games for Christmas and birthdays, and as a result, like there's not gonna be enough. And kids, I mean, they're not gonna exactly have that many games to play. Which I mean, wouldn't that? I'm not a gamer, but wouldn't that just get boring?
Yeah, the problem is a lot of the gaming industry is moving on to a subscription model, like so many other industries, and it's just... I hate that it's a genius business move, but a terrible move for your customers.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things that make sense to have as subscriptions, like, I mean, paying for iCloud storage. I mean, if I could pay for my own personal storage, then I would. But now Apple Music is a valid subscription model because you basically get to listen to all the music you want as long as you
and I mean these artists also need to make money too.
Yeah.
And then so especially when it comes to cloud storage too, there's cost for maintaining servers.
Yeah, like that type of stuff makes sense to subscribe to, but I mean, if I had the kind of money, I would also purchase music, but I don't have that kind of money right now, so because I have to do schoolwork and the show, so
yeah.
As a result, I just pay for Apple Music.
Yeah, I mean, I do a pretty darn good job at keeping my subscriptions low, for content.
Yeah.
But there are some things where, yes, I get it. There's maintenance that does need to be performed, like Starlink being so expensive. We just talked about that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure of all the maintenance, but I do know those rocket launches are anything but cheap.
Yeah.
And then there's various other services that for the longest time, like back when Apple initially had their services event on March of 2019, I think was when they had that event. But, their pricing shocked me because for like TV Plus, for example, they're coming out with all of this top dollar expensive content on a service for $5 a month. How are you going to pay all these people to make these exclusives? And then you already need to build the infrastructure out, all the servers and such. Because, well, at first they had iCloud servers, but I guess we need to do more than iCloud, so now we need more servers. And it's just, there's infrastructure costs. There's a reason why we pay registration there's a reason why we pay registration for our cars every year. Where do you think that money goes? Well, where do you think it goes in theory? I'll just leave it at that.
Oh no, I know. I know exactly. Actually, I don't personally think that you should legally have to pay registration for cars. I think that's ridiculous, but
I do, and here's why. I do, and here's why. Despite that, one might think it mostly is for our road infrastructure. Because while you think we already get taxed through gas for the road infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, I know
some vehicles don't buy gas.
Well, I get like that's like a road infrastructure payment, but I still don't think that's fair to make people pay registration fees for cars. But that's gay. But that's a whole nother. That's obviously we shouldn't get into that. But in many countries like Turkey, especially, you have to pay phone registration fees.
Phone registration.
What?
Phone registration.
Like in Turkey. Like I had this one commenter who was initially who lived in the U.S. but then he moved to Turkey, and he had an iPhone 13 Pro Max and a 14 Pro Max. But he mentioned how he had to switch to his Xiaomi Mi phone to use his actual phone with cell service because the phone registration prices are so high there.
Wow. And I thought their card registration was already insane.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you know that in Turkey,
Yeah.
when it comes to owning a car, crossing the border, if you're crossing the border to, like, say, leave Turkey, and this also applies the other way around too, if you leave Turkey, whoever is driving that car out of the country needs to be the exact same person to drive the car back in. And say if you're visiting Turkey from another country, if you drive a car from, say, Bulgaria, I think that's its neighboring country, if you drive a car from there into Turkey, when you drive out, whoever drove the car into Turkey has to be the exact same person to drive it out.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that leaves me to ask, what happens if said person dies? Then how do you get the car back? Or is it just no longer allowed to cross the border anymore?
I'm sure they probably have some sort of. My guess is that or else let's say like a college student moves to Turkey to study, and then they move, and so they drive into Turkey, and then the parents need to get back out again to go back to their normal home.
Well, if that's the case, then one of the parents has to drive the car in order to drive it out.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
But yeah, but there's stuff like, I'm sure Turkish law probably has some sort of system for that, but shall we go? But do you have anything more to say about registration and Nintendo, or shall we move on to our next topic?
I'm just gonna say I'm kind of keeping my eye on it for my sister's sake because I know she's interested in this stuff. But again, Nintendo, big miss. I want the Wii back. I really do.
I just find video games to be a waste of time. So
I mean, true, but like if you're going to do it, come on, you cannot beat the Wii.
no. All right. Well, do you want to talk about the Ampler Nova? So it's an e-bike with USB-C for both charging itself.
Yeah, sorry, I had to look through the list.
And it can also use the USB-C support to charge external devices.
So the USB-C thing charging itself, I don't think is realistic.
Or no, I mean, like the USB-C port is used to charge the e-bike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's realistic.
It's like a real product and everything.
I mean, I'm not saying like it's not going to work. It probably will work. The problem is you never use it considering the speed cap. See, the problem is an e-bike battery is a lot bigger than your cell phone or laptop battery.
That's yeah, I'm sure charging that bike is probably going to be very slow though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Realistically, you'd never use this.
That's the only port there is though.
I wouldn't buy that then. That's going to charge way too freaking slow.
Makes perfect sense.
I mean, let me think of this. Let me see. USB is a 5-volt standard. So 240 watts, which is its USB power, max power. 240 divided by 5, what is that? Come on, I cannot do that.
240 divided by 5, that is... that is 48.
It's 48 amps. That's a lot of amps to shove through a USB cable like that. No wonder. I'm surprised that they managed to. Seriously, 240 watts? How did they get 48 amps to go through a USB cable like that? For reference, 48 amps is about the max power your stove can draw from an outlet.
Okay, this is some interesting. We now have a few questions to ask, but do you have anything more to say about this, or shall I move on to my fender bender?
I'm literally perplexed. I'm trying to think do they report the size of the battery? I'm curious to know that.
Okay, let me Ampler Nova. So it's first batch shipping in June.
Yeah, what I care about more though is the battery size.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
the range is 50 to 100 kilometers.
Kilometers. What is that in miles?
50 times 0.62.
Kilometer. Mile.
That's 31 miles, and then 100 times. So it's between 31 and 62 miles.
I wouldn't say that's substantially better from your average e-bike.
No.
So
this bike costs like.
Okay.
Let me look at that.
I now have a rough estimate on how big that battery is. Not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. That thing is going to take forever to charge.
Yeah, and furthermore, let's see how much this costs. The Ampler Nova, the regular one costs. They're a European company, which is why it's listed in euros, but it's 2,490 euros.
Not worth it. That thing's going to charge way too slow.
Which is over $2,000 in US money, so yeah, way too slow. But
yeah, don't buy it. Seriously, do not buy this thing. As cool as that idea sounds, there's a reason why our electric cars do not charge off of a USB-C port.
That would be way too slow.
Yeah. Oh, for reference, do you want to know how thick of a cable you need to do 48 amps? Because I have one.
It needs to be very, very thick.
And actually, let me grab my USB-C cable for reference. So I can show them side by side. Oops, that's not the USB-C cable. This is. This cable here is rated for 48 amps of continuous electricity. Now, albeit this actually contains a few others, but like, say this blue cable here, this blue cable needs to be able to hold 48 amps continuous. Here's a USB-C cable with 4 wires inside it, which means the conductors in here are actually even thinner than what the cable's going to lead you to believe.
Oh my. Yeah.
It's not thick enough.
No.
So, if my guess is the way that they make that work is it only does it in a very short burst. The problem is if you let it go on for too long, that cable's going to heat up and it's going to melt, which is why I was shocked to see that USB-C high power, which, if I recall, can go up to 240 watts, that would be an amperage draw of around 48 amps, which is, again, what this cable is designed to do, this is to a Tesla wall connector that, believe it or not, is actually advertised to output a maximum of 48 amps. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the USB-C bike thing, no, the battery's going to be way too big. That thing's going to take, especially with the range you get out of that thing, but if it was able to achieve more range, then maybe that's fine, but it's just... I usually base things off of, can you replenish all of your range necessary overnight? And I don't know if for 130 miles is going to be enough for that.
No.
And...
No, 62 miles at most.
Oh. But even then, once you start climbing hills, that range is going to go down.
That's going to drop to like 31.
Yeah. Yeah, if you live in an area like I do, the hills, that range is going to drop real fast. So, no, not worth it. Not worth it. Cool concept, but that should be a thing that you find at CES, not in the real world. I'm sorry.
All right, shall we move on to my latest car repair story and my car loaner story?
I actually have to ask, is it your car or your mom's car?
So,
or is that a different
I'll
story?
get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that. So basically, my 2014 Mercedes-Benz C300, my car, had a misfiring cylinder when the check engine light came on.
Ooh, that's bad.
And it needs, and obviously because my car was high mileage, it needs new spark plug. So my dad took my car in to get my dad fixed my car, but yesterday I had to borrow my mom's car, and because I didn't have the mirrors aligned just correctly, and because again this drives me, and because we have this like very tight gate in my gate that borders my driveway, which I knew I was going to back into someday. I just knew I was going to.
Not the car you were hoping to back it into with?
Or, I mean, I knew like when I was first learning to drive that I was going to back into that gate. Like, I just knew it. Because that gate... And my mom, furthermore, had it parked in a really crooked position because she had to let the lawnmowers into our house. Or into our yard, excuse me. So obviously it was not perfectly aligned, and I just backed it out like normal, and I accidentally hit the car. So as a result, I have a picture of the damage, and it's not that clear on camera, but my mom drives a 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450, but did some minor scrapes, and as you can tell right here, it took out one of the taillights.
I think that's a reflector and not a taillight.
Yeah, took out one of the reflectors, yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And also, I mean, it left like a minor mark on one of the taillights, but that's not really a big deal.
So is she going to go about fixing it, or is she just going to leave the damage on it?
She is going to fix it, but my parents said that the next accident I get into, I'll be paying for it out of my own wallet.
I mean, every accident I've gotten into, which I've only gotten into one, and thankfully there was no damage done to the vehicle I hit. I would have had to pay out of pocket no matter what.
Yeah.
I was at least...
My mom...
The truck I was driving, at least, the bumper was going to come off anyway because my dad was planning to take the bed of the truck off, like, the following week. So it didn't matter that I hit the bumper. It was coming off anyways. So, but, yeah. I am nervous for that repair bill, though, because, again, it's a Mercedes. That's the one downside to owning, like, expensive vehicles like both you and Tabby. Again, for reference, Tabby owns Audi
Q5.
Yeah, Audi Q5. Which, oh my gosh, that story. You're making me nervous. You guys are hitting cars left and right. I feel like you're trying to curse me, so it's my turn at some point. And I just fixed the mirror.
Yeah, I'm not trying. Yeah, I'm not trying to. It's just, to be fair, it's just a reflector, so I don't think so. I don't know how much reflectors could possibly cost, but I think it's literally just a part that glues onto the back of the car.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a Mercedes reflector, and you know how Mercedes is when it comes to pricing and their parts.
I know it's, but if you get because it's an older car, you can get parts from wrecks for relatively cheap.
Oh, I suppose that's a good point.
And so yeah, it's not that, and I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't have to get a specific Mercedes reflector like you could, like there probably are third party reflectors, so it probably wouldn't cost too much. But yeah,
Well, you'd be surprised. Mercedes finds an insane way to make some things proprietary. They're kind of like Apple in a sense in the automotive industry.
I
Maybe
know.
why I like them so much.
Believe me, I'm aware of that. But anywho, I've gotten my car back, and I discovered that. And another thing about my car, which again is my car. Now I'm starting to have the crappiest car of the show because my car has some oil leaking.
Oh,
Some minor oil leaking. So yes.
I
Now I
wouldn't
have to
be
worry
shocked
about
if that started because of the misfire.
I wouldn't be shocked either. But yeah, now I got. Yeah, my car is dry. I'm getting so sick of my car.
Now you know how I felt with Red Fox, and I had to deal with it on a more extreme level.
However, I will say that my mom's car is not much better, since even though my mom's car is technically a newer car, it still has, well, first of all, because its battery died, you can now no longer use the push button start on it, and oh yeah, it doesn't lock anymore. Like, yes, the car won't lock anymore.
What do you mean the battery died? If the battery died, then how do you start it? Period.
So even after the battery got replaced, the
key battery?
No, not the car battery.
Oh, so then how would you start it? What's going to turn the engine over?
So the car battery was replaced, but ever since that replacement happened, the car. I mean, it will start, but you have to manually start now. Like, you can't use push button to start. And oh yeah, you can no longer lock that car.
So it almost sounds like it just forgot the keys. Like it has no memory of the key signals.
No, yeah, I mean, huh.
Because you're saying it's not detecting the key, so push button start isn't working. And it won't respond to locking and unlocking signals. I think the car needs to be retrained on the keys.
Maybe that car will have to go to the Mercedes dealership.
That or find some guide online to try to help you reprogram the keys into it. But yeah, I think that's what the issue is. I think the car just forgot the keys. Yeah. And so it's not responding to that. Then I don't even know how you're actually mechanically starting it if it doesn't see the key, because
no. Like I think it is seeing the key. I think it is seeing the key, but only via manually starting it. Like that's the only way it's seeing the key.
Is this one of those Mercedes where the backup system is in the glove box? Like, how do you start it?
No, it's. So you just literally like turn the key. So basically, the push buttons. So you basically just turn the key, and it'll turn the key like normal manual start cars, and it'll just turn. However, you can also have it. There's also a push button start button. There's a push button to start that you can insert into the key fob, and it'll go ahead and once you hit that button, it'll just start normally.
Okay, I'm so confused right now. I'm trying to picture what you're saying. Let me find an image online. Safari, where's the heck is my mouse? No, that works too. All right.
So basically, let me try to reward this. So basically, they start normally like a normal car, but if you want to, you can. There's a push button start button on. It's on my car. It's on my car. There's a push button start. When you can literally just like insert the button in order to start, and it'll go into the key fob, and then you just push that button and it'll start.
GLS 450.
Yeah.
Okay, interior.
If I actually went out, again, once I actually like show you the system, well, I'll show it in my car.
Well,
'Cause
I'm
it
just
works
looking
on
at.
the-
I'm just looking for an image. I want to see an image of the. Can you give me? Ah, here's an angle. Oh, that's a small image. One sec. Okay, there's the inserting the key. So that doesn't. So then, where's the push button then for push button start?
So you have to insert the push button into the same place where you insert the key
Really?
if you want that. Yeah, that's how it works in my car too.
Wow. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to send me a video clip on how that works then, because that is, I've never seen a design like that.
Yeah, but getting back on topic, the one thing that I can confidently say about my mom's car is that, first of all, SUVs do not give you more cargo space give you more room than a regular car, or a sedan. SUVs don't give you more room than that.
Does your GLS have the third row, or is it 2-row?
Yeah, I think it does. It does have the third row.
I assume it never gets used.
No. Well, again, now granted, my mom bought the car right before my parents split. So there's that. But yeah, it's literally just me and my mom that live there now, and I basically drive my own. And whenever I'm going somewhere, we literally just drive my car. So therefore my mom's car. And because my mom doesn't like driving, as a result, her car just she really does not need an SUV.
Well, again, like we discussed last week, I'd argue most people don't.
Yeah, but she especially doesn't, because I mean, it's not going to be. I mean, I don't know when it will be, but within a decade, within the next decade, I'm going to be moving out of my house, and therefore it'll just be my mom living there.
Yep.
So therefore she's especially not going to need an SUV then.
I'm even still confused. Why GLS? Because that's like their largest SUV, short from the G-Wagon, of course, but
So my mom has really long legs, so she supposedly needs the cargo space for her. She needs the space so she can be comfortable. And again, this is also, and my mom also got wanted that car because she wanted a car, because she got really mad at my dad for buying the M6 because she wanted a bigger she wanted dad to get a bigger car to easily comfortably sell us, because I mean the backseat in the M6, I mean it's okay, but it's not. It works, but I mean it's not the most comfortable.
that's really what the 7 Series is for, not the 6 Series.
Yeah.
So at least that's what
Exactly.
I know about BMWs.
Yeah, but my point is that's just not. But the point I'm trying to make is that with SUVs, I mean although I can see a little bit higher up, I can't see directly what's in front of me. So
Yeah,
and SUVs are also so much harder to handle. So
I drove the nickname my family gave it is the Blue Bomber, or the Hoopty. We have 2 nicknames for it. It's that pickup truck my dad drives. I drove that yesterday. I don't know how the heck he keeps that thing straight. It's just like this bumbling barge going down the road. Oh. No, I just got reaffirmed again. I don't like big vehicles. They're these trucks and these SUVs, they're too big, and they're unnecessarily big. In fact,
exactly.
In fact, now that you mentioned that your mom has longer legs, I guess that makes sense why she prefer an SUV over a sedan. Because, yeah. With her higher torso, yeah, falling into a sedan is a bit awkward.
Yeah, but the same. Yeah, I don't know if my mom's next car will I don't know if my mom's next car will be a SUV or not, because she also wants a car that's big enough to take her dogs in if she needs to.
I'd say maybe a GLE or something.
She used to have a GLE, but I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if. Again, I'm not even. I guess I should. I guess I can't actually get into this on the show, but
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know.
I can.
There's a lot that I don't understand when it comes to a lot of people's car buying decisions.
Yeah.
I just learned that most of the time they don't make sense.
Yeah.
I ran into a family. They're looking for a vehicle to replace their minivan, but they want it to be just as practical as a minivan. So, all right, I start looking for minivans and start suggesting minivans. And you want to know what they finally decided on?
A minivan.
Nope. A Chevy Traverse with no rear cargo space at all.
Oh, brother.
That's why I said people's car buying decisions don't make sense.
Exactly. I mean, at least in my mom's defense, she bought the car. She bought the car back when she thought because she wanted a car to easily haul the whole family in. Even though, again, this was right before my parents split.
Well, even then, also, I think a GLS is a bit excessive for a family of 3, considering you're an old.
That
only
too.
child. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm confused about. I mean, I get it. You guys have a lot of pets, and it's nice to have room for them, but I mean, even then,
we don't even take our pets that many places.
Yeah,
we don't even transport our pets often.
I wouldn't think. Wouldn't the only time you take him just be to the vet?
Yeah.
So it's like,
and sometimes, like when we first get dogs, we bring them over to my grandmother's house. But yeah, not exactly.
I don't know. Again, a lot of people's car buying decisions makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't understand what drives them to make their purchases. I always look for what's practical, and like, I bought my first car purely because it was cheap. I had no money, and that's what was in my price range. My second one, Stardust. Well, I did have money this time. Well, sort of. I took out a loan for it, obviously, which I'm still not regretting. I am so grateful that I have this car. But a lot about that car made a ton of sense for me. It wasn't about I don't know, emotions or anything. It was, no, I need a car that I know I can trust, is a heck of a lot more fuel efficient than my last car, which that is. I wanted it to still have a reasonable amount of space because I knew if I was buying a newer car, my family would end up riding in that more often, which turned out to be proven right. So I wanted to make sure that the back seat was nice. And obviously it's a Buick sedan. It has legroom is not an issue in Buick sedans unless you buy the Buick Verano, which is a compact one. But no, yeah, nice roomy back seat, very comfortable back seat. I didn't care about trunk space that much because I'm mostly transporting myself and I don't haul a lot of stuff. Like even my 1,000-mile road trip, I still didn't have the trunk completely full. So
yeah, for most of the time, I hate admitting this, but a lot of times when I'm going places, I literally just put stuff in my passenger seat or back seat.
I do that too. When I go to work, all I take is this is all I take to work. That's it. I don't take anything else. Well, aside from my lunch.
Yeah,
that goes in the center pass-through.
The only things I ever take with me to school are my backpack and my lunchbox, and that's literally it.
And that's why I find people buying a truck to go to work when their work does not require a truck. They need to buy their pickup trucks to haul their briefcase and their massive egos. That's why.
Yes.
That's why I joke about that all the time, because literally when you think about it, not everyone is going to a construction job site where actually, yeah, having a truck would be extremely handy.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
even though ground clearance I learned especially would be really nice because I learned this car is lower than my last one and I am literally just sledding everywhere. So, that's so far the biggest downside to that car I can think of. Just there's no ground clearance, so I'm sledding everywhere in the winter. So, yeah, this entire winter I kept thinking, yeah, it would be kind of nice to have a vehicle with more ground clearance. But I mean, d- is that really enough to justify a truck? Because you know my thoughts on crossovers and
no.
SUVs. No, it just doesn't. It's not to me. I can't justify a vehicle that's taller off the ground, so it's not going to drive as well. I do care about driving dynamics, by the way, too. It's
Yes.
not going to drive as well. It's not going to be as safe. It's more likely going to flip over. It's going to be harder to get up hills because, well, again, for the most part, automakers tend to share engines between their sedans and their crossovers. It's
Yep.
really, they mostly just do engine sharing. It's cheap, it's cost effective, and most of the time it doesn't cause too much of a problem, but that does mean when you do get into a crossover, your power to weight ratio goes down, and that's not good.
Yeah,
So,
and what I want to mention about buying cars that make sense is that first of all, one of my friends wants to buy a BMW SUV just to, or technically an X series SUV, an older one, just to transport himself and his friends.
you could probably get
So,
by in a BMW 5 Series or a 6 Series, like sedan.
or 3 Series, yeah.
3
Probably could
Series might
find
be a
one of the,
tad tight.
yeah, that actually is a valid point because my dad used to have a BMW or two BMW 325i's, and I mean they were okay, but they were just okay in terms of space. But to be honest, space is like the last of the problems of those cars. But
Yeah.
getting back on topic, like my car makes perfect sense for me because I need a car to transport myself and occasionally some me one or two of my family members, and that's literally it. And I mean and I just need a car to drive myself basically to my grandmother's house and to school, and if I need to run any other errands, that. And also, if I ever go on dates, then obviously,
Yeah, you'll impress the date with the Mercedes badge.
yeah,
Yeah, I just learned though, it's like um, a lot of people ask who are car enthusiasts ask me why won't I buy like a Cadillac or a Mercedes or because I do like Cadillacs and Mercedes, but
yeah.
big reason right now, especially
Well, money.
well that's a part, but at the same time it's like I don't know, do I really need to show off right now? Because like
Yeah.
to me, the biggest reason why you go luxury like that is you want the badge to show off that you're rich.
Yeah, I mean that does make a valid point, and that's one reason why. I mean, I don't. I mean, at the same time, the only reason why I like one the reason why my dad and I like luxury cars is because, believe it or not, luxury cars are a lot less likely to get stolen than common cars. Now
There's a
your
reason.
car's unusual
There's a
enough.
reason why I don't remember.
It's because most of the time when thieves steal cars is to part them out and sell the parts for money, and because you can get a lot more money off of like a Toyota Camry's parts because like the parts for one will fit like several million others versus like
Oh
if
right,
you
parts
steal a part.
compatibility. That's what it is.
Yeah, that is why. So as a result,
That and also a lot of luxury vehicles will have more sophisticated security systems.
and they also don't depreciate quite as fast, which is one of the main reasons why my dad likes owning his BMW. But my dad bought his M6 because it made perfect sense for him because he's usually transporting like himself and possibly one other person. He goes on lots of road. He likes driving. he enjoys driving dynamics very much.
I figured.
So he likes that. And also, I mean, I don't know if the M car is the BMW. And my dad's also a massive BMW M series enthusiast, and I know I can finally afford one. He's glad to own one. And my dad. I will say though, one thing I don't. There, like, speaking of car practicality, like going back to my car, like. I'm not saying that my car is perfectly practical for me because
reliability is a big component, and you're dealing with that.
Yes, my car is so unreliable. I mean, my car is not the most unreliable, but it's definitely not the most reliable thing in the world. And fuel costs and oil costs.
That's the one that's a major downside to luxury vehicles. You're typically paying more for not just buying the car, but just also cost of ownership goes up as well. Like, a big reason why, despite there was a decent Cadillac for sale at one point that I almost kind of considered buying, but ultimately I ended up declining it because I know that, for one, Cadillacs will put bigger engines in to get more power. Because obviously, if you're going to make a luxury version of the car, well, you got to give it more power too. So, that means fuel costs are going to go up. Parts, because it's a Cadillac badge, parts costs are going to go up if I need to get anything fixed. Pricing of service in general. I also, to my knowledge, luxury cars are also harder to work on.
That depends on what country your car comes from. Like, Cadillacs are a lot easier to work on than BMWs and Mercedes. I'll say that.
Yeah, true. Like, Mercedes actually does make it difficult for some things to be accessed, like the EQS, the EQS, for example. I know it's an electric vehicle, but in my opinion, you should still be able to access various things. Like, you can still work on a Tesla. You can drop the battery pack yourself if you want. Is it going to be an easy process? No, but as long as you have the right tools, you can do it. But like, Mercedes doesn't even provide the tools to let you work on their EQS vehicles. In fact, they don't even let you open the hood.
Oh. Yeah.
Which, funny enough, TFL found the hood latch. It's further in the driver's footwell, so you wouldn't think to look there, but it's further up there. There's a plastic panel with a Torx screw. It's not even a Torx security screw. It's just a standard Torx screw. You undo that screw, and then you'll find basically a latch on the same Mercedes hood latch, but just red. Pull that, and your hood's open.
My car has a similar system. My car has a similar system to open the hood, except for my car. Except for that mine doesn't have a Torx screw, and it's just you pull it and it'll open.
Oh, really? Do they hide the hood latch under a cover too?
Huh?
Do they hide the hood latch under a cover?
No, but it is hidden like in the deep in the floor by the brakes.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, Mercedes, there's some brands that are worse than others when it comes to giving you accessibility to work on your car. Mercedes is a big offender in this category. But I don't know, just like for me, when you buy a luxury car, you better be prepared for the cost associated with it. Like, for purchasing the car, fuel consumption goes up because they're typically going to have a thirstier engine for more power. And maybe
I'm sorry to...
Maybe also fuel type too. Some luxury cars require premium fuel. And yours does.
My dad's car, my mom's car and my dad's car also both require premium fuel because my dad doesn't necessarily care that much about. Well, my dad actually is thinking about getting his own fuel tank installed at his house so he can get oil for cheap or gas for cheaper.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Oh, I said, oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So he can gas up at his own house.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, that's another thing too. You might have to pay more for fuel compared to others, not just in not just in gallons, but also like fuel type. You got to get more premium fuel in there, I guess. And then another thing too, insurance.
Yes, insurance on my dad. I'm not gonna say how old my dad is, but my dad's obviously a grown man. He pays a fortune on his insurance on his M6.
Do you
And
even know how
granted,
much your insurance costs for your car?
my family is literally switching it. My mom's literally switching insurance policies
Oh,
to save money, and I'm also to save money. So yeah, we're go. But I don't even want. But yeah, my insurance is obviously expensive because I'm a male teenager driving a sports car.
yeah. And mine's expensive because, well, I'm not a teenager, but I'm not old either. I'm still pretty young. So that, and also I
Yeah,
have full coverage on my car because I bought it on a loan, and if you take out a loan for a car, then you have to have full coverage.
yeah.
That's just, I don't know if that's just the policy that my insurance provider has or if that's actually common practice, but I just know because my car is on a loan, I have to have full coverage in order to insure it.
I'm sure that's a standard policy, but
But yeah, like for context, my insurance payment last time was like $950 for 6 months.
mm,
That's a
yeah, I don't even.
that's a huge jump from 130 from my last car.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. Yeah, of course someday I'm gonna have to start paying for the insurance of my own car,
Oh,
and hopefully I'll have a Tesla by the time I start paying for my own insurance.
just so you know, insurance rates with Teslas are not much better.
I know they're not, but say,
I got a quote
I don't,
from 3 different insurance providers.
oh
Um,
yeah,
I'm already paying close to $1,000 right now, even if if I didn't have full coverage on a Tesla. The quotes that I got back 3 times the price.
yeah,
Yeah, and especially with the whole political controversial drama going on with
yeah,
Tesla right now, I don't want to imagine what those rates are going to look like.
yeah. Because mind you, a lot of these insurance companies are also left wing, so
Yikes.
a lot of the big ones.
Yeah, which makes me hope my car does not get totaled tomorrow because I've already made a decision with myself. If my car gets totaled tomorrow, then I am 100% replacing it with a used Tesla.
All right.
That's I've made it official.
Well,
Stardust is my last gas car.
yeah. I'm hoping that my car is also my last gas car.
Yeah, you're dealing
Although
with
again, depends.
exploding heads at this point.
Yeah. 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 All right. Well, we've been rambling on this for way too long. So shall I move on to the supercharger bombing since
Oh
we
yeah.
can't talk about what happened to Tabby's car
Yeah,
until
yeah.
he
Speaking of
gets
Tesla
here.
and their political controversies,
So Alpha, I'll let you explain.
so I brought up about a month ago or so how uh, let's just say the political left right now is extremely unhappy with Elon, and because they are extremely
Oh
unhappy
yeah.
with Elon, they are extremely unhappy with Tesla, and so they had resorted to
Vandalizing Teslas.
yeah, keying cars, setting them on fire, setting showrooms on fire. It's like, guys, if you have a problem with Elon, I don't care. Like, it's not my problem. Okay, if you have a problem with Elon, that's your problem. Fine, but you have to make sure you keep your anger in check. Like, you've seen me get angry about so many things. Like, I get angry about Windows a ton.
Yeah.
Okay, like I the reason why I did those overdrive segments on my reviews is because I wanted to show you guys how I truly feel about this platform. Emotions included. And that's why I let myself get so angry on that show. That is truly how I feel about Windows. It makes me that angry. Now, I know to keep my anger in check. Because there are so many times I want to take my XPS and throw it on the ground just because of how bad Windows is. At the same time, I can't grab my dad's laptop and start doing the same thing. I can't grab my mom's laptop and start doing the same thing. That's not right. At that point, you're just being a a-hole, to put it nicely. So there comes a point where you do actually need to keep your anger in check. It's okay to be angry. Like, we have this emotion. Anger is not necessarily a bad emotion, but it can become one if you don't keep it in check. And that's what a lot of these that's what a lot of the left, the Elon haters, have been struggling to do. They've been struggling to keep their anger in check, and as a result, they are retaliating excessively. Like, the protests, peaceful protest is one thing, fine. Go for it.
Destroying cars.
Destroying cars is all... No. That's a no-no. You want to destroy your own personal vehicle? Fine. It's your personal vehicle. Go ahead. Destroy it. I don't care. It's not my car. It's yours. But if it's someone else's, then we got a problem.
Yeah, because even in California, which mind you, the government there hates Elon. They're still arresting people for the Tesla vandalism.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this to defend Elon, by the way. I'm not saying this to defend him at all. I am saying this to defend the innocent people who own these vehicles. It's not fair to them at all that they have to suffer your lack of anger management control. That's even a phrase. So, yeah, we've already gone down that whole thing, but the reason why we have to bring it up again is because apparently this is spiraling even worse out of control. Like, we already had the car vandalisms, the burnings, the keying. We're getting explosives involved now. That's how bad this is getting. We literally have explosives involved now. A report that I saw on Twitter, who was it that reported it? Was it Spotted Model or... I don't know. Someone on Twitter had reported there was a bombing. Yeah, there was a bombing at a supercharger site somewhere in Washington State. The damage done was one of the cabinets is completely destroyed. And while you might look at it and think, you sure it wasn't just the cabinet itself blowing up? Well, the problem is we're finding shrapnel shards that do not belong to the charging hardware.
It was Lawson.
Yeah, that's the guy who did it. Or not the bombing, just the guy who reported the bombing. So
yeah. Or it was technically PNW Tesla.
I don't know. Well, the point is, yeah, a literal supercharger was bombed. This is approaching... this is officially approached... The official word, I believe, is domestic terrorism.
Yep.
This is completely unacceptable.
It is terrorism.
Again, guys, if you hate Elon, fine. I'm not saying you're not allowed to hate Elon. That's fine. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But that does not mean you can destroy other people's property. Cars? Charging stations? it doesn't matter. You can't do that. That is against our laws. For one. And at the same time, now you're roping in a whole bunch of people that want nothing to do with your anger and frustration. So, I hope whoever did this gets found swiftly and goes behind bars for a very, very long time.
All right. Shall I move on from this topic, though, on to our first rumor?
Yeah, to sum it up, guys, don't bomb superchargers. Not smart. You will go to jail, and you will go there for a very long time.
All right. So,
All right.
iOS 19 is rumored to have apps with slightly more circular icons, which I really don't want because that would ruin the shape of iOS icons that have been here for so long. But furthermore, they're going to have like shimmering UI elements as devices move. Like they'll have the UI elements like kind of move the light kind of to have reflective. To reflect the brightness and volume sliders in the control center will be rounded. And the search bar in the Messages app will be located at the bottom. Which is really annoying.
So, my personal thoughts on this. I'm not entirely sure what to think because I think this is the first time we've ever seen this level of detail of iOS leaking. Because for the longest time, Apple has been amazing at making sure their software does not leak. It's harder for hardware because as they need to talk to supply chains about mass producing these things, then it's naturally going to be harder to keep hardware leaks from leaking effectively. But software leaks, this is all pretty much done at like Apple Park, Apple headquarters, where they have this is all done in-house. They don't need to outsource any of this stuff to any third party. So that's what enables Apple to have so much control, getting it locked down so that way they can't leak. So I'm not entirely sure how all of these got out. Because
I have a theory.
If we know anything about Apple, you know how much they hate when stuff leaks. So that they're always on the 8 ball trying to get these patched up, get them locked down. And so I'm finding it very interesting that we have this level of detail when it comes to an iOS software leak. We've never seen this level of detail.
I have a theory.
What is it?
So this is all because John Prosser supposedly has sources inside of Apple that are giving him this information, and I mean, I have a theory. The Apple employee intentionally gave John a fake overview.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not. And even John admitted that, could it be fake? Absolutely. He doesn't know himself. He's just showing us what he was shown.
But furthermore, it doesn't really make sense why Apple would suddenly switch all their icons to be circular. For I mean, the Vision Pro again, it looks a little bit I don't actually know why the Vision Pro's icons are circular, but it's to match the Apple Watch probably. But the iPhone, iPad, and Mac, like, if they change this level of detail with their icons, I don't even like the shape of their icons. I don't even know who they are as a company now.
It's weird. But, I mean, honestly,
like, that doesn't seem realistic.
Think of this more. There really hasn't been a lot that Apple's done for like the past year that feels like them. iOS 18 feels like an Android release. Unpolished, unfinished. Same with Apple BS, as I call it, at
Yeah.
least.
Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
That's what it's technically called.
Yeah, I call it Apple BS because that's truly what it is. That is completely unpolished, not thoroughly cared about at least from what I'm grabbing from it. The iPhone 16. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It feels like the most Android-like iPhone I've ever seen. There are so many decisions about that phone that do not feel like Apple decisions at all. So there's been a lot that Apple's been doing that just does not feel like them for the past year. And I don't know if it has to do with the EU or anything, because they're cracking down on them so hard for, oh, they hate Apple doing their own thing, despite that you and I can recognize the benefits. But these people are cracking down on them so hard. I don't know if this is in part of compliance,
or else if a lot of former Google employees or a lot of former company employees from other companies are going over to Apple and they're bringing their culture with them.
That could be another possibility. I mean, Apple did recently state that they wanted to get rid of a program that doesn't help them hire the right people, but the shareholders voted against getting rid of said program, so they're still stuck with hiring people that are not fit and up to the task, which sucks. And so, yeah, just in general, I'm kind of now expecting this, and I hate that this is what I'm expecting. This is another reason why I've dropped a lot of my tech content recently. It's just, it's not good.
There's nothing going on. Yeah, what I can say, everything else all these other rumors about iOS and 8.19 that I mentioned, aside from like the apps with more circular icons, even that I'm not entirely sure, but like I weirdly believe all this.
There is a part of me that does too, and I hate that. Yeah, it's like guessing what Apple was going to do used to be fun, because while sure they used to be more predictable, but they still had played awesome wild cards that none of us would have expected, but they'd still leave us very pleasantly pleasantly surprised, despite all of their stuff leaking. That, I don't know, speculating on what Apple would do used to be fun, but now, I mean, lack of predictability can help generate that fun, but now all of these wild cards they're playing are just, they're not the right wild cards. They're rubbing me at least the wrong way, and I don't know how anyone can get excited about it, because a lot of their decisions that they're making, they don't make sense. And I'm trying to think in their shoes. Okay, why did this make sense? Why did it make sense to add an additional button to the side of the phone?
Let me guess. Again, Apple employees might be on something, like a substance.
Potentially.
Like, I'm genuinely starting to believe that.
That, or maybe they've all caught artificial intelligence disease.
Oh, we all know they have. I mean, I'm talking like real diseases. Like maybe they do. Like maybe they actually are on stuff.
Uh-oh.
Alpha?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What did my computer just do?
I don't see your video anymore.
My camera's still on. Yeah, for some reason my video shut off. Where's my mouse? Discord. Turn camera on. What was that?
I don't know.
I didn't push anything.
I know you didn't.
Yeah, yeah, that was weird. But yeah, it's like I used to love talking all about tech outside of Apple, and then everyone just started doing what Apple would do, and it became uninteresting. No originality. So, all right, then I started pivoting more to Apple, and I think that's why I have a hard time making Apple content, because so many other people who are much larger than me already did the same thing. And then...
But then Apple's ruining themselves.
Yeah. It's like...
Like, most of my videos nowadays are about how Apple's ruining themselves.
And I hate that mine are the same... I wish I could be more excited about them. I wish I could be more excited about tech. But every single time something tech-related comes up, it's a dumb decision that I have to talk about. It's like, why?
Yeah, like if you told... Yeah, like, my interest in tech used to be so high, but now it's not. Like I used to love spending so much time with tech that I didn't even think about doing anything else. But like literally, like this school year, I started going to my school's football and basketball games. That's how bored I became with tech.
And I became an EV nut. I used to be a really big tech nut, and now I'm an EV nut.
Same. Like 4 years ago. Like, if you had told me 4 years ago that I would be obsessed with EVs, I'd call you crazy.
Yeah, especially knowing your stance on them beforehand.
Yeah.
For context, guys, he used to think they were pretty silly and stupid.
Yes, I used to be very against EVs, but yeah, that's great. But yeah, like if you told, yeah, like some of the stuff I do now, like it's like myself now that I'm older is like some of the stuff I do now is just great. Like there's some stuff that I hate admitting this, but like whenever I try to predict my future, like it's all like it always seems to be partially accurate. Like I was correct about myself still running a YouTube channel like 5 years ago. Like I was still correct about myself doing that, but and I knew I'd be in high school at that point, but I mean everything else about me, like I had no idea I was going to do this podcast until I appeared on the Random Alpha podcast.
Yeah. I stopped
at
trying
us
to plan
now.
for a future as well, because I've just learned, no, life will send you who knows how many different directions that you could never account for.
I mean, it's still good to plan for a future so that you know a general direction of where you're headed.
Well,
but at the same time, like you have to be ready to account for all these mishaps and all these little other things.
I just set goals. All I do is I set goals, but I don't plan.
Basically
because the second I start planning, it all falls apart, and I'm on a roller coaster of who knows what the heck is going to happen next. So I just keep goals in mind. Like, I just kept a goal in mind. One day, I'm going to see a Rascal Flatts concert. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And then I had the opportunity. Didn't plan for it. It was all really last minute.
Yeah, I was the one who actually, I remember when I was staying with my family one time, and my aunt told me, "Hey, Rascal Flatts is going on tour," and obviously that caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I did not expect it either. I'm also grateful to hear that. I guess they're going to get back into making more music again.
And I mean, they did. Now, granted, I am a little. I tried listening to their latest album, and I remember the first song on it was like a song that they did with the Jonas Brothers, and the Jonas Brothers to me are too poppy, and I'm like, no, or like too much of a pop artist, and I'm like, no, I want
that's
country,
not really their
pop.
style. That's not really their style at all.
Pop.
Yeah, Rascal
Flatts.
Pop isn't. Rascal Flatts and pop. That's not their style.
I know pop wasn't entirely their style, but that's just like I try. But I mean, to be fair, I haven't actually really listened to much of their latest album, so I don't know. I don't know if it's good or not.
I mostly listen to their older albums. That's primarily because that's what I have, but
Yeah.
And it's just what I grew up with. So, yeah, that's why I listen to most of their older albums. But their new stuff, it's definitely changed, but it's hard for me to get mad at. It's still Rascal Flatts DNA. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Modern stuff has changed people in a sense, and they've explored new technologies. Some stuff that they tried worked. Some stuff that they've tried not so much. But ultimately, no matter what the product is, they haven't made that many songs that I didn't like.
Yeah. But ironically, it was like, but to me, it kind of depends on the artist. Because I used to like Taylor Swift's like pop albums, but now that I'm getting older, I genuinely hate them. But I've managed to get really into her country, like really for her first.
She was a great country artist. Not gonna
oh
lie,
my gosh! Yeah,
Taylor Swift was a great country artist.
Should you know that song? Should have said no.
Yes.
That one is so good, and I kid you not, when the first time I heard "You Belong with Me," I swore that was not a Taylor Swift song. I didn't even think it was her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who. I remember thinking, "Wow, this girl is great. I wonder who she is."
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you would not recognize her from listening to her older country songs. I mean, "Love Story," that's another popular one.
Oh yeah, that one.
You'd never recognize it's her voice. I kind of am mad that she ditched that, and now she's doing all this pop crap that just appeals to people who aren't as into music, I'd say.
Exactly.
I've noticed that people who aren't into music like I am, most of their stuff that they listen to is rap and pop.
Yep. If you actually care about music, though, then that's not the case. I have to let one of the cats out. Come on, Mikey, go out. Well, if you actually care about music, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Have you pop country isn't necessarily so good, but there's some other independent country artists that are really good. Have you heard Charles Wesley Godwin's music?
I have not. Oh boy, I have not listened to the radio in a long time. And it doesn't help that the music they play today sucks.
He doesn't necessarily play on the radio, but he's a modern day country artist, but his country music sounds, I'll say, it sounds a lot like country music from the late 1980s. And I don't know. And knowing you probably don't know any late 80s country songs or
not
probably
many.
Don't.
My type of country music is between 2000 and 2015.
So again, you may or may not like it. It depends, but
well,
yeah.
I have some older country music styles from the 90s, maybe the 80s. I just don't listen to it that much. It's not my type of country, but
yeah.
Even then, I just thought of another artist that has fallen for the trap more recently.
Keith Urban.
Yeah, Keith Urban. Awesome. His older music was awesome, but the new stuff, dude, how did you go so wrong?
I haven't even bothered listening to any Keith Urban stuff, so I actually maybe I should listen to Keith Urban.
Yeah, I mean,
his old stuff.
You have Apple Music now, right?
Yeah. I should listen to some of Keith Urban's older stuff. So yeah.
What's the album I have? I have one of his albums. I just don't remember the title. Let me see. Artist Keith Urban. Oh, I have two of his albums. I have Golden Road, and then Get Closer. Yeah, that was back when.
Yeah.
That was back when he made real good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some artists that still make really good stuff, like Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
Now, granted, I'm not the I don't like all of Chris Stapleton's music because his music reminds me more of jazz music.
Really, it reminds me more of
Or-
some of his songs remind me more of rock. Like, have you heard
Yeah.
Midnight
No, I have
Train to
not heard
Memphis?
Midnight Train to... I should probably listen to that, but his earlier songs do remind me more of rock, but his later songs remind me kind of like a little bit of rock, a little bit of jazz, and a little bit of, I would say, like 60s country.
Yeah, I like Chris Stapleton. I do like Chris Stapleton a lot.
Yeah. And I have one of the Zach Brown Band songs on
Oh, he's a good
my
band
Apple
too.
Music Library.
Although that
and-
band sounds a lot more like a beach band to me. I always get beach vibes
Oh.
every time I listen to any of his songs.
Although the one song I have on there on my Apple Music Library is Knee Deep, which is also by Jimmy Buffett. So it feels a lot more like a Jimmy Buffett song to me, but
Yeah.
But Tabby and I talked about but another thing is that Tabby and I, it's not just country music. For Tabby and I talked about in the episode when you were in about like 2000s rock music. Like if you actually now it's not necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily your type of music, but if you like rock music and if you don't mind heavily auto-tuned loud music,
Yeah,
then
that's
the 2000
that's the thing. I really hate
2000s
that
rock.
stuff.
Then 2000s music is rock music, especially is like stuff like Linkin Park, The Killers, all those types of bands. Like they're all really good, but the problem is that where's modern day rock music? I mean, I do actually have one modern rock song or technically post punk song in my library, which is called "After the Party" by the Messengers. That they're post punk band out of Boston.
My dad's going to be in for... Oh, I should mention that my dad's finally going to replace his truck soon, I guess.
Is it with that 90s truck from the...
No, even
Church?
better, actually. Because my mom has some strict requirements. It cannot be any older than 2015.
Oh my... How's he gonna afford that?
With a loan.
Oh my goodness, your dad's gonna be in for a treat.
Oh, well, he might not see it
I'm
that
sure
way.
Yeah, I know he doesn't see it that way, but he doesn't know what kind of treat he's in for.
He's gonna love being able to plug his phone in and use Android Auto and play Pandora straight on the car. He's gonna love that.
Yeah, I mean, that is one great thing. Like, I love being able to play music from my phone, which is one reason why, even though my car's speaker system sounds a lot worse now, because ever since I got CarPlay installed into it, the audio guys screwed it up. So that way only one of the speakers is connected or something. But that's something else I have to get fixed in my car. But I really like being able to play music from my phone because it's just like you don't have to change out CDs, you don't have to do any of that, or you don't have to listen to what the radio will feed you.
Yeah. Oh, having that flexibility was night and day between I still listened to my phone in my old car. I just had to use the aux jack.
Ah, yeah.
But that meant the only way I could control the phone was with the phone itself. So, I better like what the phone shuffled in its playlist, otherwise there's no skipping it.
Couldn't you use Hey Siri?
It gets old if you need to skip multiple songs.
I use the voice control in my car to do that, like the voice control button, but one of my classmates who has I think in some type of early 2000s Ford Explorer, he actually I think he has his phone on a mount and he uses Hey Siri if he needs to do anything with his phone, because obviously his car does not have CarPlay or anything.
Mm-hmm. No, well, most of the time I only listen to podcasts because most of the speakers were blown out in the old car, so the sound system wasn't particularly great. It was fine for podcasts, but...
Yeah.
No, but my new car with its sound system. Oh, and especially when I bought it, I got the premium upgrade, the premium sound system.
I mean, my car speakers, I'm sure they were nice when they were new because they're Harman Kardon speakers. The problem is that they, even before like the audio guys messed them up, like they still sound bad because I partially blame my dad for ruining the speakers because my dad's hearing is not all that great. So I was really has to turn up the volume high. Yeah. And my dad listens to a lot of metal.
Oh gosh. That's the music I hate most. I legit. To me, it's just noise for the sake of noise.
I like metal, but again, that's just because I've gotten so used to it from my dad. But like one song, but like even like metal, like even some metal songs now in my car stereo system sound like literal noise or like literal like they don't sound that great because my car speakers are ruined. Like, do you know the song "Hail to the King"? Well, you probably don't, but
no, it's metal. You know I hate metal.
It's one of the more popular metal songs, but that song, like it's like like I remember I was used to hearing that in my dad's car, but I remember when I heard it in my car for the first time, and I thought, oh, this sounds horrible because it was from 2013, so it was so the song was recorded like really like it was recorded professionally.
So
it just sounded horrible. So yeah, it didn't sound horrible, but it didn't sound great.
I suppose
compared to usual. But we still have 2 more topics left, and
yeah, how do we get there? All right.
So the iPhone 17 Pro is going to have the ability to record front and back cameras simultaneously, and the blackout camera bar will probably not occur. Now, I should state that the ability to record the front and back cameras simultaneously has been present on Samsung phones since, hang on, let me grab it. The Galaxy S4 from 2013.
And yet somehow my S7 can't do it. At least I never got it to work.
I'll actually have to try that on my S4 sometime. Because, oh yeah, I forget that I have Android phones sometimes.
Yeah, you're so focused on Apple, you forget about your Android collection.
Again, that's part of the reason why I don't like collecting non-Apple stuff. It's because I literally when do I ever use my non-Apple stuff?
I keep forgetting I have a BlackBerry.
Like I don't even use my old Windows 7 Toshiba. I don't think I've turned on my Windows 7 Toshiba desktop. I haven't turned it on at all this year, and I think I might have used it last fall. But because Windows 7 now, the web browser are really bad. I hardly ever use that thing now.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I need to get another keyboard for that thing. And probably another mouse, but yeah. I don't think
you're in that big of a rush.
No, I'm not, but I just I just have to share my Acer desktop, and it'd just be nice if I could use one, because I mean my Toshiba desktop, it was my original it was the first computer I ever used, so that's the reason why I love it so much. Is because it's so nostalgic. Like I remember going on Nick Jr.'s website and Starfall's websites on this thing.
I don't remember what happened to the old XP tower that I grew up on.
Didn't it get thrown away?
That might have been what happened.
Because I think you mentioned it on either the episode of the Random Alpha, either one of the episodes of the Random Alpha podcast you're on, or else one of these episodes a long time ago.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, the Windows 7 tower is still somehow in action, albeit just barely.
You know what probably needs?
An SSD.
Probably could use that, but getting back on top.
I think the HDMI port on it is what's failing though, so an SSD wouldn't solve that problem.
Oh, that. I thought its hard drive was dying, but yeah, that would. Okay, that's.
No, we're losing
Well,
we're losing display output. That's our problem.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, getting back on topic, the iPhone. So, what do we think about the iPhone 17 Pro's ability to record the front and back cameras simultaneously?
I mean, I could actually see that useful for me in very niche situations, like when I'm filming road trip videos. I'd like to pan the camera to my face more, but then oftentimes I need to show what's going on the map, and just having the ability to cut back and forth quickly like that would be so nice. But then again,
I like having. I would love to have that ability. You road trip more than me, but I would love to have that ability too. And I would really like the ability to record both of them simultaneously, or else to be able to flip back and forth between them easily. Because that's one thing. When I first started out recording YouTube videos, I loved the ability to flip back and forth between front and back camera and YouTube's little video recording. They're on their app.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me grab them on my iPad Mini 2. And let me grab it. My iPad Air 1. Oh my gosh, I just realized I went over 2 hours without trying to grab anything. That's like so rare for a TIFP episode.
I don't think it's as rare as you think.
It's not that. Probably is in comparison to recent episodes, but it's probably not as rare as I think.
Yeah, I've recalled a few episodes where you never went for the cabinet at all.
Yeah, I'm sure it's more common than I think. It's just that, well, especially because I had a birthday recently, and because we talked more about hardware, but now we're getting into more of the software season.
Yeah. Even that, back to the top. I mean, I can see that being useful. The problem is it would be very niche situations, because most of the time the way I film my videos, I just stand in front of a wall talking, and then if I have B-roll, it's either I'm grabbing pictures off the internet, snapping some screenshots, or then I'll just film a quick clip of the product separately. Usually I found myself, I'm never really showcasing anything that frequently. Like, okay, it might be useful. No, then I need to change the physical angle of the phone. That wouldn't work. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that.
I mean, I could see it maybe working.
Yeah, I'd still need a multi-cam setup for that. But, it will work very well in situations where, okay, you've got host talking, and then flipping to host demonstrating something, and then back to host talk. Do I find myself in situations like that all the time? No, but that would be handy. And this is a 17 Pro feature, supposedly.
And I mean, the blacked out camera bar not occurring. I mean, Drew from Taylor of Tech mentioned how that seemed like a bit of a weird rumor, and there's some rumors saying that won't happen. But I mean, I can kind of get that. That wouldn't happen to Apple just keep with the stove top camera design, because it wouldn't make sense of Apple trying to make the phone thinner, although at the same time, I just don't like how the iPhone 17 Pro is rumored to switch back to aluminum. And I hate that aluminum glass glass combo back they're doing. I just want all glass.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot about the 17 Pro's camera, but a lot of it just doesn't make sense for me. Why would Apple do that? What are they stuffing in there that first requires that much space? And then, of course, everyone's blacking it out. Guys, do you remember the iPhone 11 leaks?
Imagine if that was the actual final design.
Honestly, I would have preferred the iPhone 11 the way it was in the leaks.
Same.
Genuinely serious. The leaks, when they initially suggested how Apple was going to come up with the camera layout that they're sadly still using to this day, when those leaks came out, we were already pretty disgusted by it. Looked bad. Then Apple comes up with the real device, and somehow they made it look worse.
That's bad.
Yeah, Drew will tell you that he thinks, oh, Apple made it look better than the leaks and rumors. No, I'm sorry. They did not. Especially with that hideous midnight green.
Oh, or wait a second. I have a midnight green iPhone 11 Pro Max.
You do. Please don't show it. Spare my eyes, please.
I have to show it now. I have to show my midnight vomit.
Oh. I had no idea Apple could make that nasty looking of a device.
Hang on, let me get it out of its case just to show you. Oh, by the way, I got the magnet off of it a few months ago, so now it's full green glory.
All right, let me know when it's off screen. I really don't want to look at that thing. Is it off screen yet?
It's not off. It's off screen.
You! Oh! It's not April 1st! There's a 0 in front of the 1!
I know. I just saw it be hilarious. Oh, great, now this thing is turning on.
Oh. Yeah,
wait
who
a
knew
second.
Apple could make such a hideous phone?
Alright, getting back on topic.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything more to say about this, or shall we move on to our final topic?
Yeah, for the first time ever, like... With the 14 leaked with the eye hole thing, I'm like... For the camera cutout... I mean, I fully expected them that they were actually going to detach the notch. I did not expect they would actually leave the eye cutout itself. I figured they were going to make it a pill, because...
And they did.
That was at least predictable, but now with them in this super unpredictable phase and a lot of their decisions they're making just turning out to be flat out bad ones, I'm legitimately scared for what they're going to do with the 17 series design. I'm also scared with how much this thing's going to cost.
Yeah, that'll all be interesting, but shall we move on to our final rumor?
Yep, the final rumor is... Unlock, please.
The Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge is rumored to be ultra slim, and it's going to have a small online launch that'll supposedly be on May 13th.
They're reusing the Edge branding.
Yep.
And it's not going to have actual edge-to-edge screens, sadly.
No, it will not, annoyingly. Or I don't think so.
Gosh, I miss that on
Again,
Android
Samsung.
phones. I really miss that thing on Android phones.
I wish, again, why doesn't Apple do this? This is actually something I want.
Yeah! Yeah, if Apple did this, I would totally buy it. Because I know, when it comes to software and stuff, they program software around hardware. They'll give you awesome palm rejection, accidental touch protection.
Yeah. I really want Apple to. Again, this is what Apple should be focusing on. Not trying to make iPhones lighter, but too much lighter, but instead, I would love. First of all, I want iPhones to get smaller again, which is part of my video for tomorrow. Or what my video will be about tomorrow. But I also want Apple to focus on cool features.
Oh, I want them to focus on actually making a stable platform first.
And stable operating systems. And stable operating systems that actually work. That too.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a thing I miss about Androids. In fact, here, you have your fishing through the cabinet time. I'll do my fishing through my drawer. Oh, there's the iPad. Thought something was about to fall over. Ow, that's my foot. this thing.
Oh, speaking of, I don't have a Pixel 6 Pro like you do. But I do have, hang on, let me grab it. Which one of these is it? That's the S10 Plus. Which one of these phones is this? Okay, where do I keep my... Oh, it's the next step, okay.
I actually realize I'm going to need my Pixel 6 for today's video.
This, my Pixel 6a.
That's not a 6A.
Huh?
That's a regular Pixel 6. That's not a 6A.
No, this is a 6a. Or, wait a second, did I get lied to at the phone store?
I don't think the 6A had a glass back. That was reflecting.
No, what? The box is for a 6A. Okay, let me
The phone does not look like a 6A.
Okay, wait a sec. What is this Pixel? Okay. No, this is a 6A. Says here right here.
Really?
Yeah.
That is weird. That does not look like a 6A to me. Huh. Well, this goes to show how much I know about Pixels. I just know that the old ones really sucked. Yeah,
Man,
I've been ranting on Pixels for years, and the Pixel 6 was finally the first Pixel I was actually happy with. That's
then
crazy.
they ruined it again with the Pixel 9.
Yeah, then they ruined it with the Pixel 9. Though I actually found out I'm
All
going
right,
to need this for tomorrow's video. So, yeah, I need to turn
What
this
will
on.
it be about?
I realized last year I failed to do something that I typically do in April.
What was it Easter?
Nope. It was how you initially found my channel.
Oh, yeah, you forgot to do an Apple. Didn't you
I
do
was
your last
so
collection video
invested.
in July though?
Huh?
Didn't you do your last Apple collection video in July of 2022?
I'm pretty sure it was April.
Or no, July 23.
I don't know. I thought it was
Hang on,
April.
let me go back and look. Let me go looking back at your channel.
Yeah, let me see on my phone. I got YouTube Studio pulled up right here. Let's see. Videos.
I'm already on your channel.
Scrolling back. Wow, I made a lot of videos. Let's see. There's the iPad. 2023 Apple Collection. April 26th.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm guessing you did not. Okay, it was in 2022 that you did it in July.
I'm not sure why I did it then, but yeah, I figured I was just gonna do it in April. I don't know why. Though I was so invested in the Pixel Challenge at the time. Remember when I did that?
Yeah, I did.
That was a year ago. My goodness.
I remember watching your video about that on one of my last days in school because I had nothing else to do.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm a bit overdue for an Apple collection because a lot has changed with it.
Oh yeah, this year I'm debating whether I should do my Apple collection video in July or October October during my fall break because it would obviously be easier if I did it in July because I'm not in school. However, the problem is that I'm planning on upgrading to the iPhone 17 Pro and the Apple Watch Ultra 2 or 3 or whatever one's latest at that time. And obviously I can't do that in July, so I'd have to wait until at least September anyway. And furthermore, the Apple, and furthermore, I'll also have my school iPad on me in October to actually film with that. So
Oh yeah, that
in
would
order
be
to showcase
convenient.
my school, in order to showcase my school iPad, and if I did my collection video in July, I would have to film some footage of it in May
Mm-hmm.
for that video. So I'm trying to decide where I should do it in July or October, but make July like what I typically try to do, or else October like I did in 2023. But in other news, it is 3 minutes past when we usually stop recording.
I do have one more topic though that I need to get out of the way before we stop though. Yes, I know it's late,
What is
but
it?
I
What
don't
is
know.
it?
I'm pondering again and I need more inputs. I don't know. Do I hold out for the 17 series? Because from what I'm seeing, once again, like every other year, I'm just not that excited from what I'm about to see. And if the rumors are true, price hikes are 100% coming to this year's lineup. I don't see how Apple can avoid it this time.
I mean, I would say get the 17 line, just get the 17 Pro, just so we can have the latest iPhone and have it be the most reliable.
Well, that
And
depends
so
on if
it'll be
Apple
the
fixes
as
the
most
software.
I mean hardware wise.
Well, Apple always makes
Like
a hardware reliable phone.
I mean like it'll be more reliable if you buy the latest and greatest.
Well,
Like that's why
I
I'm
didn't
buying
do
the
that with
17
this,
Pro.
and you've seen how long this lasted.
I mean it does, but again, like that's not always the case. But I would say if it were up to me, go 16. Go 17.
Yeah, I just don't know because I think again I don't know. Do I want to spend all that money for a phone I'm not that excited for? Like I at least know that there's things about the 16 that, well, yeah, I do believe it's the most Android-like iPhone Apple has ever made. Uh, at the same time, they made a handful of meaningful improvements that I know I'd appreciate. The microphone quality being one of them. I mean, is it as good as I was hoping? No, it's not, but its ability to filter out voices is a lot better than a standard iPhone mic. Also, that desert titanium is really pretty.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I would just say, well, if you get a 17 Pro, it should have all the great features that the 16 Pro has, so you'll have that comfort. But I mean, to be honest, at this point you have to embrace the fact that phones just aren't that exciting anymore, and that phones are much more of a utilitarian thing and a more of a necessary thing rather than something that you can really get excited for.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking just going 17 anyways. Because again, I wasn't even excited about the 13 Pro that much. So much to the point that I ended up going back to this. But again, I guess at the same time, I think a lot of it's going to come down to the price. Because again, I'm planning on doing a massive storage upgrade this time around,
Oh
going
yeah.
from 256 to a whole terabyte, and you know how much that costs. So, and if there's going to be a price increase on top of that, dude, that's a lot of money. And in my financial position, I don't know if I want to spend that much money.
Yeah, because I have to upgrade my phone and my watch at the same time. But I'm currently debating right now if I should just go ahead and upgrade my AirPods case to be USB-C now. Just because at the same time, if AirPods Pro 3 come out and they have lots of cool features, then it will be worth it. But to be honest, I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm thinking about just waiting for the. I don't know what to do because at the same time, like I don't want to drop like probably over 2,000, probably around 2,000, over $2,000 on some things during that time. Because mind you, in September, like I still like now, because now I have lots of costs that I need to pay. Like I have not only gas, but also I mean it's gonna be during football season, so I mean I would have already had to take a cost taken care of because I get a school year pass, but I would also, but I mean I still have to pay for concessions.
I mean, you don't have to get concessions. I never got concessions when I went to games.
I mean, I usually like to get water at the games though, and I just don't, and they don't let you bring your own. So
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
odd. Because I was always allowed to bring my own.
well, I just find it. I just don't like bringing my own water into places that they don't want that sell concessions, just because that always feels awkward to me. But
Yeah, that's a touch odd, but maybe it's just a north-south thing. I don't know.
yeah, because again, high school football is a lot bigger of a thing where I am than you are.
Oh, it's big. It's big up here. Just it has to be done right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the biggest football arguments you hear up here are between Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, and that's just clearly because of our location.
Like is high school football, like are the football teams for high school a big deal though?
Yeah, they're fairly decent. Like the pep band plays for every one of them.
They play for every one of them where I am too. And like the pep band, I mean the pep band's decent, but one song that they play that drives me nuts is do you know Seven Nation Army, that song?
All too well. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So do you know how do you want the pep band does not play it correctly at my school. We won't call it pep band, but they do not, but they appear to only know the first 10 seconds of that song.
Yeah, that's all they focus on.
And as soon as you try to get in, like, it's not that hard to try to play the rest of the song, but they just don't. And so as a result, the pep band version of that is so bad.
Yeah. Ours at least ours played the more than just the catchiest part of the song.
Yeah, the first 10 seconds, which again, you have to, again, if you don't know the song, like, even if you don't know the title or the song, you probably know, well, you'll, like, if I play the first few seconds of it, you should instantly recognize that.
Yeah, it's that
Speaking of whatever happened to that band, actually, because I have not seen the band do anything else, really anything else since that era.
What do you mean? Oh, the band,
that
made that song? Yeah,
All I know,
it was the genesis of that song was a guy wanted to get revenge, and that was how the song was born.
No, that was actually based on like a guy who wanted like a kid who misheard the Salvation Army as a Seven Nation Army. That was and then they wrote the song based on around that. But it was a husband and wife duo. I'll look up what happened to them later.
I heard that revenge was involved in it, but that's what I heard.
Shall we go ahead and end the podcast?
Yeah, I've got nothing else left to say. It is late.
And tonight's a school night for me.
Toilet stat.
So do I. All right. As always, thank you all for tuning into another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we are saying peace out for now, and we hope to see you all in the next episode.
See ya.